All right. Who's ready to do some dog work?
You are Locked On Trojans, your daily podcast on the USC Trojans, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Fight on, everyone. I'm your host, Mark Hulkin, and thank you for making Locked On USC your first listen every day. Whether you're going to watch a show on YouTube or wherever you want to download your podcast, this show is free, and I appreciate your support. Show yours. If you're watching on YouTube, I need you to become a subscriber. I want you to smash that thumbs up button, and I really want you to hit that bell notification button. Right now, new customers, you're going to get $150 in bonus bets guaranteed when you place a $5 bet. Visit FanDuel.com/locked on so you can get started. All right, check out the rundown. We're going to talk about dog work. Hashtag DAWG. It's an acronym, and it's something that your new defensive line coach, Eric Henderson, lives by. It's his credo. We're also going to talk a little bit recruiting. 2025 recruiting offers are out there. We're going to go over what's been done so far. And then in the third segment, we got to talk a little bit of men's hoops. A little post-game reaction, but we're going to hold that till the end of the show. Anyways, what is dog work? Well, first of all, I think it's too bad that Aaron Donald, he's out of college eligibility. Look, I've been talking about it. My everyday listeners have heard me say it. And I know it was low-hanging fruit. It's not like it was, I came up with this great original idea. But my suggestion of Coach Henderson using his relationship with Aaron Donald, the perennial all-pro LA Ram defensive lineman, well, it's already come to fruition, right? And by the way, thank you for listening, Coach Henderson. Obviously, someone told you about the show or someone said, hey, Mark's got an idea for you. Anyways, there's a really cool picture of USC's defensive line coach, Eric Henderson, with his arm around Aaron Donald. They're both wearing the cardinal and gold. Yeah, it's kind of cool. Coach Henderson, he's wearing the cardinal and gold hoodie. Not this one, but he's wearing a cardinal and gold hoodie. And he's got one hand up in the victory salute. His other arms got wrapped around Aaron Donald's shoulders. Meanwhile, Aaron is standing there, big smile, and he's got that natural flex position going, fist clenched. Yeah, he looked really natural, looked good. Selling point. I guarantee you a lot of people saw this picture, and it caught the attention of high school recruits, maybe some transfer portal guys. So let the recruiting games begin, right? A special shout out to Pitt Panthers head coach Pat Narduzzi. Just in case anybody wasn't aware, Aaron Donald attended college at the University of Pittsburgh well before Pat got there. But it was Coach Pat who accused USC of tampering with Jordan Addison. So a little bit of karma there, right? A little bit of oops. Probably shouldn't have said anything because that's the power of USC. Look, Coach Henderson would be stupid if he didn't inject a little bit of Aaron Donald's name into every single recruiting conversation that he has. Whenever he has the opportunity to talk recruiting at USC, he should bring up Aaron Donald's name. And it's likely his name is going to get mentioned just about any time any defensive lineman that Henderson wants to go after in this next recruiting class. He's going to say, oh, by the way, I coached that dude. Now, unlike PRPs, player-run practices, where the coaching staff is kind of hands-off for the most part, coaches can be out there, but a football cannot be out there. So that's why they're kind of hands-off. Player-run practices. They do this during the offseason. Well, there's something called NFL OTAs. These are also voluntary practices. OTA stands for Organized Team Activities. Team veterans who've kind of put in their dues, they save themselves for mini camps. OTAs are, again, they're considered voluntary. But this is usually when the rookies show up, especially right after the NFL draft. But Eric Henderson, his reputation preceded him. So when he left the LA Chargers and joined the LA Rams staff, he did that in 2019. That was enough for Aaron Donald to say, you know what, I'm going to show up to the OTA. This is what he said. Aaron Donald, quote, 100% of whether Henderson was the reason he wanted to be at OTAs that year. He's definitely a guy. Once I saw the drills, after I got to talk to him and get to pick his brain a little bit, he's a big reason why I wanted to continue to learn. And I felt like he was teaching me. I felt like what he was teaching me could benefit me and help me a whole lot as far as improving my game. It's like I always say, I want to get better, and that's what I've got to do. Listen to a coach and work it, end quote. That's pretty high praise coming from a future Hall of Famer. And this is what I heard. This is what I heard from Aaron Donald's message. Practice was fun with Eric Henderson, and he looked forward to going to work every day. So that's the message that recruits are going to want to hear as well. And after playing for Coach Henderson for a couple of years, this is what Aaron Donald said 2 years later after going to the OTA in 2019. I love playing for him. He's one of those coaches that understands how to communicate things to his players as far as teaching certain techniques that I felt like I was going to take my game to another level. Just having 2 years with him and having 2 camps with him and being able to take his coaching and the things he's trying to teach me and the way he breaks down film and things like that, end quote. So, again, that's about as high a praise as you can get from one of your players. So now anybody who wants to play defensive line at USC for Eric Henderson and Sean Nua, they're going to have to do some dog work. Hashtag DAWG work. DAWG is an acronym for this. D equals discipline. We know at USC, one of their weaknesses has been, and it's been around for a while. This wasn't just last year or the first 2 years. Guys who, try to do too much. Playing discipline means playing your assignment. We often heard last year and the year before that players weren't being disciplined. They weren't trusting their teammates. That's part of the process. When you train a dog to obey your commands, they better obey or they're not going to get to play. So discipline on the field, in the practice, you do this, otherwise you don't play. A equals attitude, right? You got to play with an angry attitude. I heard Coach Henderson talk about, it's okay to be a nice guy off the field, but you better be able to flip that switch, turn it on when it's time to work. You got to have heart to have attitude, right? If you don't have any heart, you're not going to have any type of attitude. You're probably not going to care. W, it stands for the work ethic. I guess for me, this is where discipline and attitude kind of come together and have a baby, have a puppy. A dog who is disciplined and has the right attitude is going to have a good work ethic, right? Last year, let me use this as an example, and this is not a knock. This is what happens frequently to freshmen. My everydayers might remember this. I talked about Sam Green last year, the freshman defensive lineman. So much natural talent, right? Just oozes. But one of his older teammates told me off the record, this happened after spring camp, that, if Sam would just, if the dude would just show up more than 10 minutes before practice was supposed to start, how much better he could be. He wasn't saying he had a bad work ethic. He was just pointing out how it could be better. I'm pointing out how just that kind of little adjustment, it goes a long way. I mean, think about that. Sam Green was a name that everybody was talking about after spring camp in 2023. He redshirted. this past season. Something didn't carry through. The coaches saw it. Well, guess what? You got a new defensive line coach. You better bring it with this guy. G equals grit. Look, grit is basically you're spelling fight on the wrong way. Same thing, right? You're gonna disagree? Let me know in the comment section, but it's essentially the same thing as far as I'm concerned. No matter what happens, you keep going. You keep fighting on. You have that grit. You bite your teeth. You bite your lip. You don't let anything get in your way. You get knocked down, get up. Go knock the other guy down. If you win a rep, great. Go line up. Go do it again. That's your job. Show some grit. Do it 2 times in a row. Sometimes you got to play through pain. In other words, by any means necessary. Fight on. Grit. DAWG. DAWG. It's time to put in some dog work, Trojans. And if you're going to play defensive line for Eric Henderson and Sean Nua, that's what you're going to have to live by. Because if you don't play. Passion, drive, and patience. What brings home the winning trophy is also what keeps your ride or die alive. eBay Motors has everything you need to maintain your vehicle and level it up to peak performance. From superchargers, roof racks, exhaust kits, LED headlights, and more, whether you're into speed, power, or style, eBay Motors has got you covered. With over 122 million parts for your number one ride or die, you'll always find exactly what you're looking for. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, your part is guaranteed to fit your ride every time or your money back, because with eBay Motors, you're burning rubber, not cash. With all the parts you need and the prices you want, it's easy to turn your car into the MVP and bring home that win. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply. eBay Guaranteed Fit only available to U.S. customers. When you're hiring for your small business, you want to have as many top-tier candidates as possible to interview. That's why you have to check out LinkedIn Jobs. LinkedIn Jobs has the tools to help you find the right professionals for your team, and they're going to do it faster and for free. LinkedIn isn't just another job board. LinkedIn has a vast network of more than 1 billion professionals, which makes it the best place to hire. And hiring is easy when you have that many qualified candidates. So easy, in fact, that 86% of the small businesses get a qualified candidate within 24 hours. LinkedIn knows that small businesses are wearing a lot of hats, and you might not have the time or the resources to hire. Thankfully, with LinkedIn, the process is intuitive, quick, and easy. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/LockedOnCollege. That's linkedin.com/LockedOnCollege to post your job for free. Terms and conditions apply. So, I don't know if you've been hanging around, checking out what's been going on with recruiting. That's what you're here for. I'm going to keep you updated. And when you're not here on Locked On USC, I know you're hanging out over there at wearesc.com. We've got a subscription special, $1 for a month. A lot of recruiting information over there. A lot of stuff I can't talk about here. But if you are over there at wearesc.com, you'll know that Lincoln Riley is out and about. So is the coaching staff. They're out taking recruiting visits. And they're out putting out offers. So I thought this would be a really good time to kind of start talking about the 2025, what we're calling it now, bidding class, or recruiting class. But with NIL, you're bidding, right? That's essentially what you're down to. Yesterday, on Locked On USC, I told you that USC got their first commitment in their class of 2025 when quarterback Julian Juju Lewis reclassified from 2026 to 2025. So USC, for the moment, has its quarterback for the 2025 class. But right now, he's the only commitment in that class. And when I say for the moment, being a little sarcastic, we know that everybody's going to be coming after Juju. I talked about that on yesterday's episode. So when you're done watching this episode, go check it out. I thought it was a really good episode. Talked about a lot. And a good crossover when we're talking about recruiting as well. Excuse me. Now, it's still real early in the process. So I would anticipate, things are going to start ramping up as far as commitments after the spring. And as we get closer to those big summer recruiting events that USC likes to hold. So we'll see what happens. Right now, this is offer season. And there are a lot of them out there. So let's go over it. I'm not going to go over all the names. I'm just going to go over some numbers. For instance, USC so far has given out 14 offers to running backs. This is according to the On3 database. Jordan Davison from Mater Dei High School, local product, is among the group right now that I think Trojan fans are keeping an eye on. They're tired of seeing guys, from their local schools end up elsewhere. Again, real early in the process. We're in January still. If you're looking at, where he might be leaning, it's going to come down. I don't know. Is it going to be USC? Is it going to be Texas? Right now, it appears that he's leaning towards Texas. If you're looking at the prediction, the crystal balls, again, real early in the process. So don't get too excited about where a percentage someone is leaning right now. It doesn't matter. But right now, he's the only running back from the state of California with an offer. Everyone else, the other 13 offers, they're from SEC country schools, the SEC country. And quite a few of them are from Texas. Texas plays in the SEC going forward. We know USC is considered wide receiver university, WRU, right? And they've doled out a total of 16 offers before we've even gotten to the month of February. A familiar name, local product, again, Philip Bell. He's from Mission Viejo High School. He was one of the first to get an offer from USC. He's 6'1", 185 pounds. Right now, USC and Cal seem to be his top schools. We know Cal is now a member of the Atlantic Coast Conference. USC is moving into the big conference. We'll see the Big Ten Conference with 18 teams. You look at their logo, it says big. That's why I call them the big. Anyways, we'll see what Philip Bell decides to do. Here's what you need to know about the wide receivers. The 7-on-7 season is about to go full throttle, right? So the wide receivers, the athletes, guys who play the defensive back, running backs, they're going to be out there showing their wares. And I really look forward to seeing a bunch of these guys at these events in Las Vegas, Arizona, California. And these things are going to start popping up here really soon. Once we get into February, that's when things really kick into overdrive. USC has given out a total of 6 offers to tight ends. I'm not sure if USC is considered the favorite for any of them, but again, you got 6 offers out there. As far as the offensive line is concerned, 31 total offers, 18 at what USC is going to consider their offensive tackle prospects, 13 interior offensive linemen. Out of the 18 tackles, just 2 of them are from California. And for those of you who like to stare at the stars, they're 3 stars. Keep in mind, guys are going to get re-rated, re-ranked between now and the start of their senior season in high school, their senior season playing football. They're juniors in high school right now. Remember, school's still in session, usually till what, May, June? Then they become a senior. As far as the tackles, USC likes their early chances with Douglas Utu. He's 6'5", 270 pounds, prospect from Las Vegas, Bishop Gorman. There's another guy that I really like. I'm not saying I don't like Utu, but I saw this guy, saw a little bit of his film. Big dude. I think he might be, well, right now USC's looking at him to play interior offensive line. His name is S.J. Alo-Fa-Tuli. S.J. Alo-Fa-Tuli. Hope I said that correctly. I apologize if I mispronounced it. He plays inside, and I like him a lot. 6'3", 290 pounds. Another interior offensive lineman who was offered last year by USC, Peter Longi. He plays at Reardon High School in San Francisco. This dude, really big. Alani Noah, Amos Talalele, Micah Banuelos type of big. 6'6", 350 pounds. Big dude. Quickly, let's get to the other side of the ball on defense. This is going to be a list that I think this list is going to change. Well, obviously, it's going to change. Offers are going to continue to go out. But remember, a lot of the guys on this offer list, they were offered by the old defensive regime. So we'll see how this goes. Right now, so far, 24 edge guys, defensive end, rush ends, and another 34 defensive line guys. So what is that? 58? Good number. It's a good start. So now that USC has that dynamic duo, excuse me, you got Eric Henderson, Sean Nua coaching the defensive line together. We know Sean Nua will be responsible for the ends, defensive ends. Eric Henderson in charge of the whole thing, but I think he focuses more on the interior. I anticipate seeing more enthusiasm towards USC from the recruits. Again, you got Aaron Donald in your back pocket on the phone, speed dial. Call him up. Hey, recruit, you want to talk to Aaron Donald? Check this out. One of the guys at USC and UCLA offered is his name's Hayden Lowe. He's from Oaks Christian High School. Well, Antonlynn is now USC's defensive coordinator. We'll see how that plays out. There have been 26 linebacker offers given, and priority number one for USC. Yeah, got to get this guy. Keep him home. He's from Mater Dei. Nasir Wyatt. If I'm going to, predict something, this battle's probably going to be USC versus Oregon down to the wire. Hopefully, USC can show some big-time improvement on defense to get those guys who got that bad taste in their mouth from what they've seen for these last few years. So another linebacker, local product, 6'2", 210 pounds. His name is Noah McHale, Laverne, California. He was taking visits to USC last year. I saw him. Big kid. And another linebacker. California, this might be one of the deeper positions for California on the defensive side of the ball. Madden Faramo. He's down there in San Diego. USC, Ohio State has their eyes on him as well. 6'3", 200 pounds. So just a few names, kind of keep your eye on. And then 19 cornerback offers. Dante Williams, he's down at Georgia now. How long is he going to be there? I'm hearing his name circling around for the San Jose State head coaching job. That might be a good place for him, by the way, to get his start. Excuse me. One cornerback name Trojan fans probably aware of because USC's been recruiting him for quite a while. Dante Williams or no Dante Williams. Dijon Lee down there at Mission Viejo High School. Still a top target for the Trojans, as well as for most programs around the country, for that matter. Two other guys USC wants to get from Mater Dei. They both play cornerback, Chuck McDonald and Darius Dixon. So we'll see what happens there. 21 safety offers. Well, you have Traquan Fagan's little brother, Anquan. He's got an offer from Alabama as well. We know Nick Saban is no longer at Alabama. We know Traquan started to get some playing time there at the end of the season for USC. That's got to bode well. Again, I think the defensive offer list is going to change the most with this new staff in place. So this is just my way too early look ahead as we start to get to the heart of the recruiting season. I thought I'd throw everybody a bone since we're talking about dog work in the first segment. We'll start talking about 2025 recruiting. Got a long ways to go, and we'll talk about it a lot between now and as the commits start to roll in. The NFL regular season is over. We're in the heart of the playoff season, but there is still time for you to get in on the action with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers, you're going to get $150 in bonus bets guaranteed when you place a $5 bet. That's $150 in bonus bets, win or lose. So visit FanDuel.com/lockedon and make your first bet an easy score. FanDuel, an official partner of the NFL. All right, put the football down. Let's pick up the basketball. Yeah, I know. Another tough loss for USC. They were down there in Tucson, taking on the Arizona Wildcats. They took it on the chin, 82-67. USC has now lost. I think that's their 13th time in their last 14 down there in the McHale Center. They've never played well down there. And they were playing without a couple of starters again, Boogie Ellis and Isaiah Collier. USC is now 8-10 overall, 2-5 in conference play. Yeah. Arizona remains undefeated at home. Here's the thing with Arizona. They started the season 8-0. They got to the #1 spot in the country, the spot that UConn currently holds. But since they were there, now they're 5-4 with the win. But I didn't have a lot of hope for USC in this game. Again, you're missing Boogie Ellis. You're missing Isaiah Collier. Josh Morgan was able to play in this game, although, he lost 15 pounds over the last week, suffering from some sort of illness. At first, it was told it was a respiratory illness, but then he couldn't even hold any food down. So who knows what was going on there? This game did not start off well for USC. There was 7-0 before USC made their first basket. And then before they could even get to the first TV timeout, Andy Enfield had to call a timeout because USC was down 14-4. Yeah, rough start to the game. Poor communication on defense, even worse shooting. Again, no Boogie Ellis. His hamstring kept him out. From what I'm being told, with Boogie, it's game time decision with him. Collier, he's out with a broken hand. It's going to be at least a month till he comes back. Broken bone in his hand. What's the difference, right? I mentioned Josh Morgan. He was back. He didn't start. He got in the game with around 11 minutes to go. And he chipped in with a couple of assists. USC got bullied down in the paint. No other way to say it. At one point, USC battled back. It was 23-19 in the first half. And Arizona was the reason why Arizona had missed their last 10 field goal attempts at the time. And USC actually had a chance to build on its momentum. They were getting back into the game. But if you've watched USC basketball this season, you know that they don't have they're not consistent on offense. They don't run great offensive sets. Their half-court offense, it's here, there. Sometimes it's here. Mostly it's over there somewhere else. So 23-19, they had a chance to build on the momentum. Bronny comes down, takes a really ill-advised deep three-point shot. Early in the clock, too. Like I said, no ball movement. And then next possession, Kobe Johnson misses a really easy 8-foot chippy in the middle of the lane. Rebound Arizona. That leads to a three-pointer for them. All of a sudden, the lead jumps back up to 7. And that's USC men's hoops in a nutshell. Poor decision making. They haven't been playing they haven't been playing defense, let alone transition defense. Excuse me. And their inability to make baskets. But at one point, this is how weird of a game it was. They had 10 assists on their 11 made baskets, but they were only shooting 35% from the field. In the first half, Bronny James, 9 points, 2 assists, 0 turnovers. Started off really well. He led the team in scoring at that point. And it was 35-31, 4 minutes to play in the first half. I'm talking about Bronny's 9 points, 2 assists. He finished with 11 points. He's still trying to find his way at this level. And with USC, just what happened, same thing that kind of what happened at Colorado. USC ended up giving up a run of points towards the end. And at halftime, they were trailing 45-35. So 10-4 scoring run to close out the half for Arizona. Whereas USC took an 11-point lead at Colorado in the halftime. And before you know it, they were down by 13. The bottom line is they can't make open shots when they need to, especially when the game is tight. And now, when the Wildcats are playing at home, they've got that they play with that mojo. They play with that momentum. Winning at the McHale Center, it's tough enough as it is. So if you're not going to rebound, you're gonna make it really difficult to win at home, let alone on the road. And when you're not rebounding well, you're giving up second chance points. And Arizona just killed USC in the second chance points department. So the difference in the second half was Arizona, they made an adjustment against USC's zone defense. And you can kind of sense USC, their shoulders starting to drop. If you're watching the game, when they're not playing well on offense, they don't play well on defense. And it got to a point where they were trailing 62-46. Kylan Boswell, guard for Arizona, he launched a three from downtown Tucson. I mean, this was beyond NBA range. 4 Trojans were under the basket. They stood there, and they watched a Wildcat player grab the rebound. Put it right back in there for a layup. At that point, Andy Enfield's calling a timeout. 18 points down, 11 minutes to play. Look, you're missing Boogie Ellis, Isaiah Collier. That's 35 points per game sitting on the bench. So you can't suck at rebounding. That play right there just epitomized it. Deep, deep three. 4 guys around the rim. 1 Arizona guy gets the rebound. The team, they're just not very good offensively to begin with, at least from a concept, conceptually. Like I said, they don't move the ball. Earlier in the year, they were averaging 2.5 passes per offensive possession. I can't say it any other way than this. That sucks. When you move the ball, good things happen. Last week, I asked Andy Enfield after the game. I said, Coach Enfield, if their defense is being affected by their poor offense. And, he said, quote, it's human nature. Yeah, it's happening. Essentially, in this game, Arizona just wore USC down. All their big men had 4 fouls by at some point in the second half. Page eventually fouled out. Josh Morgan, again, very weak. You lose 15 pounds, you're not going to have a whole lot of strength. That's not the team you want to play because Arizona is big up front and they're physically strong. They like to bully you. And right now, look, I know Coach Enfield is struggling this year with the team. They're 2 games below 500, and injuries are really starting to take its toll on the season. This team was top 20 preseason. They're 8-10 now. And at this point, I kind of get the sense, I hope that I'm off, that they're kind of just playing out the season, but they've now lost 2 in a row, and they have to go play at Arizona State on Saturday, who are going to be really angry. 4 of their players got technical fouls. I think even Bobby Hurley got a technical foul. They lost at home to UCLA, who, by the way, if you're not aware, they're playing just as poorly as USC's men's team is. So that's the buzzsaw that USC gets to walk into down in Tempe on Saturday. There you go. Another episode of Locked on USC in the books. I'll be back with another episode tomorrow, 5 times a week. That's what we do around here. So until then, everyone, you know what to do.